Okay, welcome Cloud Gurus, and in this lecture we're going to look at the storage options in the Cloud White Paper. Again, we've pretty much been through over most of this throughout our course. There's two areas I just wanted to touch base on to make sure that we had everything covered. So we explore all the different storage options inside the AWS platforms. We've got S3, Glacier, EBS, EC2 Instant Storage, which is our temporary block storage or our ephemeral storage. We've got our AWS Import Export, which allows us to transfer large volumes of data. We've got Storage Gateway, Amazon CloudFront, SQS, RDS, DynamoDB, Elasticache, Redshift, and databases on Amazon EC2, so that's where you install MySQL or SQL Server on your individual EC2 instances. So each section, basically they go through every single one of those products, and then they have basically a summary, ideal usage patterns, performance piece, the durability and availability of each service, the cost model, and then how it's scalable and elastic, and what interfaces it uses, and then where it's not a good fit, which they call anti-patterns. So really I just wanted to talk about two that we haven't covered too much in the course, so I just want to make sure that you're aware of them and what they are. So we'll start with import-export. AWS import-export accelerates moving large amounts of data into and out of the AWS platform using portable storage devices for transport. AWS transfers your data directly onto and off of storage devices using Amazon's high-speed internal network and bypassing the internet. For significant data sets, AWS import-export is often faster than upgrading than internet transfer, or more cost-effective than upgrading your connectivity. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have got your own data center, and you're a media publishing house, or a magazine or something, and you've got a file server that might have 100 terabytes worth of data on there, and you're coming up to it's the end of life. You're needing to the equipment's all end of life, and you're needing to renew it. You're going to need to go out and buy more kit, or you're exploring the option of moving this onto Amazon's cloud, and you don't have to worry about outlaying large amounts of capital again. The big problem you've got is the size of your data. So with Amazon Import Export, you basically send this off to Amazon. They would then load the data onto, once it arrives at the data center, they plug it into their network and then load it into the media or the medium of your choice. So with AWS Import Export, let's look at the price model. You pay for only what you use. AWS Import Export has three pricing components: a per device fee, a data load time charge, which is per data loading hour, so it depends how long it's going to take for that data to move over onto the network, and then a possible return shipping charges. So that depends on expedited shipping or shipping to destinations that are not local to that AWS Import Export region. Quickly talk about Storage Gateway. AWS Storage Gateway is a service that connects an on-premise software appliance with cloud-based storage to provide seamless and secure integration between an organization's on-premise IT environment and AWS's storage infrastructure. The service enables you to securely store data to the AWS cloud for scalable and cost-effective storage. Really, AWS's Storage Gateway service, it's a software appliance, and it's available to download as a virtual machine image that you install on a host in your data center. Once you've installed your gateway and associated it with your AWS account through our activation process, you can use the AWS Management Console to create either gateway cached or gateway stored volumes that can be mounted as iSCSI devices by your on-premise application. So in terms of exam questions, they might ask you about Storage Gateway, and there's two different models. So there's gateway cached or gateway stored volumes. So we'll just have a look at the difference between them. Gateway cache volumes allow you to utilize Amazon's S3 for your primary data. So your primary data is sitting up in S3 while retaining some portion of it in locally cached for frequently accessed data. So you might, if you're a media company, you might want the assets that you're working on for the next month's magazine that you're about to publish. You want those to be locally cached because you're going to be using them a lot, but you don't want to necessarily store information from a magazine that you published 3 years ago. You just keep that up in S3. So that's what gateway caching does. These volumes minimize the need to scale your on-premise storage infrastructure while still providing your application with low latency access to their frequently accessed data. You can create storage volumes of up to 32 terabytes in size and mount them as iSCSI devices from your on-premise application servers. Data written to these volumes is stored in Amazon S3 with only a cache of recently written and recently read data stored locally on your on-premise storage hardware. We'll talk about gateway stored volumes. They store your primary data locally while asynchronously backing up the data to AWS. So with gateway cache, it's only the recent data. With gateway stored, it's all data, and it's basically it's there inside your data center, and it's using S3 as a backup mechanism, so an offsite backup tool. These volumes provide you with on-premise applications with low latency access to their entire data sets while providing durable offsite backups. You can create storage volumes up to 1 terabyte in size and mount them as iSCSI devices from your on-premise application servers. Data written to your gateway stored volumes is stored on your on-premise storage hardware, and it's asynchronously backed up to Amazon S3 in the form of Amazon EBS snapshots. Okay, so we'll just look at pricing. With AWS Storage Gateway, you pay only for what you use. AWS Storage Gateway has 4 pricing components. It's basically your gateway usage, so the number of gateways you're using per month, your snapshot storage usage, so that's priced on a per gig per month, the volume storage usage per gig per month, and then a data transfer in and out, or actually it's just data transfer out, which is on a per gig per month. And so that's it really for this white paper. If there's a particular service you feel like you still don't quite understand, feel free to go to the white paper and have a read. Might be that you want to learn a little bit more about SQS, for example. It doesn't hurt, but I don't think you need to read the whole white paper because don't forget, we will be reinforcing all your learning through the different quizzes, and I really think we've covered most of the ground that has been presented in this white paper. If you do see something that's in this white paper in the exam that we haven't covered, please let me know, and if you have any questions also please let me know, but feel free to move on to the final white paper. Thank you.